Hey there. So it is currently Tuesday, July 28th, and I landed the last video on Saturday when I got here to Richmond, and I was hoping to start recording more later that day, but I kind of just got caught up in stuff, just getting my bearings in town and, meeting some people and just having fun, you know how it is. Sometimes you get so caught up with living in the moment that you forget to capitalize on your experience and leverage it to make content out of it and make money from it, and that's always a damn shame, because everyone knows that, living life in the moment and actually enjoying your experiences is inferior to, monetizing every aspect of your life. I'm trying to get better with that. But, today, I'm probably planning on heading out of town tomorrow, maybe Thursday, but probably tomorrow it's looking like. And right now it's already getting kind of late in the day. It's like 4:30, and I'm hoping to just kind of walk around town a little bit and show you guys some of the cool stuff that I have seen over the last few days. When I first got here on Saturday, I checked out Monroe Park briefly. I went to Carytown. I actually met a fellow traveler named Taylor who gave me some good advice for someone who's new in town. About the local train yard and some sleep spots and stuff. He had a dog named Melvin. His nickname was Melly, and very nice little dog that came right up to me all excited as soon as I walked up. I guess he saw the big backpack and the black bandana, which the dog was actually wearing a black bandana as well. So we had matching bandanas, and he came right up to me and was like, "Oh, fellow traveler," So I always love traveler dogs, and they love me. But yeah, I checked out Carytown for a little bit, made a little bit of money there flying a sign, but I wasn't really super in need of money. I just was mainly doing it for fun, and then I went to Shockoe Bottom that night. I ended up sleeping in Shockoe Bottom. I hung out with this cool home bum named Stick for a little while, and he showed me a spot that was, he said was relatively safe, and I slept there with him. So it was like, safety in numbers situation. And, I didn't get bothered or anything, but it was a little loud there, so it wasn't the best situation sleeping there. But, I got a few hours of sleep, poor quality sleep, but a few hours, and I was ready to face the day on Sunday. And then on Sunday, I came back to Monroe Park, actually. I went to there was a Food Not Bombs feeding, because Food Not Bombs passes out food and clothes and stuff, I guess. I think the clothes, I'm not sure if it was Food Not Bombs doing the clothes too, but there was a clothing giveaway at the same time. I'm not sure if it was the same people or someone else, but yeah, they had all that stuff going on Sunday, which was cool. There was about at least 60 to 80 people here, more than I expected, honestly. It wasn't all just homeless people. It was like college kids and seemingly like random other locals and stuff too. So that was interesting to see. And because like most of these, feeding events that I've been to in the past in other cities, I've never seen like just college students coming up to eat, yeah, I did that, and then I went and checked out the Guar Bar, which is a famous bar owned by the members of Guar here in Richmond, that one of my traveling buddies told me about, and I went there to check it out for him, and film it and stuff, and I ended up meeting the bouncer there. His name was Justin. Very cool guy. I definitely recommend going to Guar Bar if anyone comes to Richmond, because cool vibes, cool people there. And I was hanging out outside with my backpack, just like planning on talking to people who come out for smoke breaks or whatever. I wasn't gonna try to get in, because usually the backpack is a deal breaker for getting into bars, But yeah, Justin, he saw me when he came out for a smoke, and he started talking to me. Turns out he was a former traveler too, and so we quickly hit it off, and he was like, "Yeah, you can come in if you want. I'll store your backpack in the back for you, So he let me put my backpack in the back so I could come in and just hang out, And then I ended up going back last night as well, actually, because he said he was going to be working again, and I wanted to come say hi. So I went back last night, saw him, saw this other dude, Steven, same name as me, also from Long Island, and we exchanged numbers, have the same area code. So that was kind of a funny coincidence, but he was really cool. I saw him both nights that I went there, and he gave me a ride, both times to where I needed to go. The first night, he gave me a ride to a sleeping spot that I had, heard about, and I tried to go there. It seemed pretty good. It was like next to an electrical substation, right between like a line of trees and like a fence. It was pretty, pretty secluded, pretty obscured, and I felt pretty good there. And then right as I was about to go to sleep, a severe thunderstorm watch started, and the lightning was getting really crazy in the sky. And I'm like, okay, I'm sleeping next to a metal fence right now in a thunderstorm. I don't know if this is the best idea. So I got sketched out. I bailed out of there. And as I'm heading a few blocks away up to Cary Street, trying to find like a little, well-lit building to sleep under or something, or to at least sit under, so I don't get struck by lightning, it starts downpouring, like really badly. Like at first it's like raining lightly. By the time I get a few blocks down the street to where I'm going, it's downpouring. I'm getting soaked. So I had to take refuge under a building awning and just hang out there for a few hours until McDonald's opened up at 6 a.m. and I was able to go there and charge my phone, which was at 1% at the time. So it's a good thing I got there right in the nick of time. And then since I didn't get to sleep that night, I went yesterday to the park, and I managed to sleep in the park for like 4 or 5 hours. Got woken up at one point by people, mowing the park with giant riding lawnmowers right next to me. And then I had to move my stuff so they could mow under where I was at, and then go, move it back. I was just like laying out with my tarp and sleeping bag. But it wasn't too bad. I was able to get back to sleep afterwards, and then like I said, I got like 4 or 5 hours total, so I was ready to face the day. And then I met up with a friend and did some stuff with them yesterday. We went to Belle Isle, walked around there, some walking trails, looked at some frogs and everything. They were teaching me about all the local frogs and toads, which was cool. And and also another thing I did on Sunday was I went to Texas Beach, which is technically closed down right now. There's like a pedestrian bridge that usually goes there, but there was some kind of damage to it, so it's down for repairs until later this year, I guess. But you know how travelers are. We find a way around fences and things like that. So after a little bit of hunting around, I was able to find a hole in the fence, sure enough, that the locals had taken care of it for me. So I was able to go there, run across the railroad tracks, and then get down to Texas Beach. And there were a few other people hanging out down there too. So obviously I wasn't the only one. I'm not the only one around here who likes to trespass across train tracks. But that was that. I might try to take you guys back there at some point and just show you the whole process of that and that whole little area, since it is like it's got like a whole exclusive kind of vibe going on right now with the official access to it being closed down and everything. So we'll see if I can make it, because I'm kind of limited on time here. I've also got a show that I'm trying to go to tonight, perhaps, that's in a couple hours. It starts in a couple hours. And some guys at the Guar Bar told me about that last night and said that they're going to be there, so I might go and check that. It's like a punk show. I haven't been to a show in a long time, and this might be my last night in the city right now before moving on. So sounds like something that might be fun to go check out. But for now, I'm just gonna show you guys a few things around the city that I've discovered so far and that I've noticed and everything. And it'll just be a leisurely stroll. I don't have my backpack with me right now, so I'm like a little light on my feet. Because my friend that I stayed with last night, they let me keep my backpack at their place. So I'm like, I feel very, very free right now, not having to carry that thing around, man. That thing was killing my back and my hips and everything. But all right, let's get this show on the road. I've been yapping for like almost 9 minutes now, so I think it's time to go and show you some stuff. So this is Monroe Park right here. This is sort of the center of it all, kind of the centerpiece of downtown Richmond here, you could say. It's right in the middle of the VCU campus, Virginia Commonwealth University. So pretty, peaceful, safe little park. Not a place where you can probably like sleep at night or anything like that, or even during the day. If I tried to do what I did I went to Bird Park to sleep the other day or yesterday, and if I tried to do that with like a tarp and everything. Here, it probably wouldn't work out. I'd probably get in trouble for camping pretty quickly. But this is the fountain here, and you might notice something about it, which is that it's not on. Just like the fountains in Danville. And when I first got here, I noticed that. I was like, what the heck is going on? Is every fountain in Virginia off right now? And then I looked it up and I found out, that actually is the case, because there's apparently some kind of like water shortage going on. So there's like a statewide mandated water, conservation sort of program going into effect. So basically all the public water features in Virginia are turned off right now for that reason. So that that actually explains that mystery. But I thought that was so funny. I thought it was just a coincidence when I got here. I was like, whoa, that one's off too. And then yeah, you know, there's always an explanation, right? But yeah, this is where the, you know, Food Not Bombs feeding happened. It was like over in that area. There was some kind of Muslim group doing something over there, and I think like a Mormon group or something too. So I guess Sunday is like the day when all the, you know, the groups come out to do their stuff, to, I guess, give stuff away and preach the good word of their respective religions and such. But yeah, so that's the park. I mean, not much to see really beyond this. You know, you can meet some cool people here sometimes, I'm sure, but yeah, not much going on right now on a Tuesday. Just kind of normal stuff. But next I will take you to Carytown, because that's the second place I went after I got here. And Carytown's pretty cool. It's like a little, you know, shopping district, really. A lot of rich people there. A good place to busk or fly signs, you know. Or, you know, if you've got money yourself and you're you're one of those people, then I imagine it'd be a nice place to go and have some brunch or whatever rich people do. But yeah, I'll take you there and we'll check it out. That's where I met my busker buddy Taylor too, my traveler buddy. He had been traveling for 10 years. He was showing me like his map of places he had been. He's been to some places, man. He was like a real traveler. So it was cool that he was the first person I met and ended up talking to as soon as I got into town, because that's exactly the sort of thing I was looking for when I came here. So we'll go to Carytown. We'll see if we, you know, maybe we'll run into Taylor. Maybe we'll run into some other traveler or people or buskers or whatever. I've seen like 3 buskers in town so far, all in Carytown. And I've been blessing the buskers. You know, I gave each of them like $5, even though I don't really, you know, I don't usually have a lot of money to give like that. But, you know, the last couple of days, or the last couple of days before I got to town, when I was hitchhiking, you know, people kept giving me money and stuff, as I mentioned in the last video. You know, so I was doing pretty well, and I felt, you know, okay giving $15 to the buskers, you know, because I like to take care of buskers when I can. I always appreciate what they're doing, you know. I wish I could do that myself. I want to learn. I mean, I have a harmonica that I'm carrying on my backpack that I want to, you know, learn to do some stuff with soon, but I haven't really had a chance yet. So, gonna be waiting here for a few minutes for the bus to Carytown. One cool thing about Richmond, at least right now, they have a free bus service. I think they went free during COVID and just stayed free ever since, and it's like currently funded through you know, this month, through the end of this month at least. So I don't know if soon it's going to go back to not being free. I hope not. I hope it'll continue to be, you know, refunded and everything. But yeah, at least right now while I'm in town, I came at the right time, I guess, because free buses are just fantastic. You know, I mean, this city's pretty walkable as it is. If I wanted to walk to where I'm going in Carytown, it would be like a 35-40 minute walk, which is not too bad for me. But the bus ride will only be like 5 minutes, so, you know, I'll take that when I can get it, especially since I've been doing so much walking with a heavy backpack over the last few days. My back and shoulders and legs and feet are all kind of killing me. Thankfully, you know, since I was able to stay with my friend last night and they stored my backpack for me and let me walk around a little bit without carrying all that weight around last night, I've been able to recover a little bit over the last day or so, but it's still, you know, stuff takes a toll on you. So any kind of rest I can get, I'm going to be trying to take advantage of that. Just, you know, sitting down and laying down as much as possible, because I often am bad with that. I'll just like push myself to my limits and just walk and walk and walk, and next thing you know, I got fucking edema in my legs and blisters all over my feet and fucking trench foot and everything else, you know. So we don't want a repeat of that. Okay, so I'm here in Carytown, and I'm going to show you some notable buildings that I've interacted with so far in one way or another. I just passed these girls who were like, hey, you want to come to church with us on Sunday? I was like, listen, ladies, you're not going to get me with that one, okay? Not this time. Been there, done that. I went to church in Nashville because missionaries approached me on the street thinking I was one of those homeless people that are like super suggestible and, you know, can't really defend themselves from religious arguments because they are not familiar with arguments. I actually ran into this Muslim guy, speaking of which, the other day at Chipotle. I went to Chipotle the other night, and I saw this, I met this Muslim guy, Eli, and he was cool. He ended up bringing me to the park and hanging out with me for a bit, and giving me some weed. He smoked me up and gave me the rest of a joint. And yeah, he was cool, but he, you know, very quickly our conversation started, you know, turned to religions, and he started trying to kind of preach to me a little bit, or make like arguments. He tried to run like, at least he tried to make arguments. I'll give him credit for that, because a lot of religious people don't. They'll start like just being like, oh, read the Bible, and dumping platitudes at you. And in his case, at least, he was trying to make arguments. He ran like a very rudimentary version of the like the fine-tuning argument, and then he tried to do like the argument from design. And I just kind of gave some objections to both of those, and he could tell that I was not the type of person he's expecting. I guess he's like, oh, you're clearly very smart. So then he pivoted to like talking about the practical utility of religion, and how some people need faith in their life or in something higher to help them psychologically somehow, which fair enough, but I don't see how that speaks to the truth of religion. It speaks more to perhaps a psychological fact by humans. But anyway, I digress. This is the Bird Theater right here. Historic theater. I think it's historic. I mean, it looks historic, right? It's nice looking architecturally, and they play like, I guess like new like second runs and stuff of like old films here. I think they were playing like Jaws the other day, but they also play newer films. I think they're screening back rooms, or they were screening back rooms. I flew my sign outside here the other day. Good sign flying spot, probably good busking spot too. Flew my sign right over there by those doors. And yeah, I mean, I wasn't doing it for too long. I wasn't trying to make a ton of money or anything. I was, mainly just doing it for conversation and stuff to make people laugh. But, I made a few bucks there. Did okay. So, probably a good spot, especially during the, the busy hours of this town, which would be like the brunch crowd, from like maybe 10 to 1. And then later on it gets busy like 6 to 9, But after 9 it starts to quiet down. It's not really a nightlife district per se. More of a daytime shopping district. But yeah, Bird Theater. Oh, you have Shelf Life books here. I actually stopped into this place. They were very cool little vibe in this bookstore. They have a little bookstore cat and everything. A store is cool when they got this, when they got this type of shit outside. Gotta love it. But yeah, I picked up, I was going in there seeing if I could find like a cheap copy of, something by Kerouac or Burroughs or something, just for the hell of it, because I don't have a book with me right now. I wanted a cheap used book to bring with me on my travels if I have some downtime I wanted to read. And I managed to go upstairs and find a copy of On the Road by Jack Kerouac, front and center, for like $7. Where are you going to beat prices like that? So, definitely recommend this place if you're coming to Carytown. Sugar and Twine. I haven't actually been here, but this is a little cafe, coffee shop type place, and I think I've heard they have like good vegan pastries or something, but I haven't checked it out. But if you're in town, maybe look into that. And this right here is the Capital One Cafe. This is a pretty cool place too, because this is like a community space. They're not open super late or anything, or super early. Usually they're open like 8 to maybe 5 p.m. or something. But they don't care if you got a big ass backpack on. You can just go in there, sit down, charge your phone. You don't have to like buy anything or whatever. It's all very chill. And yeah, I've gone in there a couple times, like the last couple days in the mornings to just charge my phone, have a bite to eat, and just relax in the air conditioning for a little while. So, good job, Capital One, for setting up something cool like that. Let's continue. Oh, there's the Mellow Mushroom over there. I saw that for the first time in Nashville, and then I came here and was like, oh, it's a chain. They've got like vegan pizza and stuff, I heard. Someone told me that their specialty vegan slices are good, but that like that's really all they're good for. So again, I can't speak to it in personal experience. I haven't been there. I'm not really much of a vegan pizza person. I'm from New York, so that might sound crazy, but yeah, I mean, I used to eat pizza when I was not vegan, and then once I went vegan, the vegan pizza doesn't seem to be up to par, weird taste. So I prefer to eat other stuff that doesn't really pretend to be cheese or any animal product. Although some of the vegan meats are pretty good. This is Plan 9 Records. I've heard this place is pretty cool. I haven't been in there yet, but I might check it out at some point. Okay, I actually walked back to Plan 9 Records real quick to go in and see if they had like a patch binder or anything. So I was like, let me see if I could shop for patches here. It seemed like the sort of place you'd be able to do that, but unfortunately they said they didn't sell patches. So I guess I'll have to check somewhere else if I want to get a patch. I was hoping to get a patch at some point in Richmond, to commemorate my time here and add it to my hat or something, some item of clothing. I don't have like a battle jacket yet or anything. Maybe I'll get one at some point. But yeah, no patches there, unfortunately. But let's continue on. Leadership for the many, not for the money. Hell yeah. fuck money? Who needs money? Not me. As you can see, this town is pretty gay, so that's cool in my book. I mean, your mileage may vary. Might not might not be everyone's cup of tea or whatever, but I think it's pretty cool seeing all the LGBTQ plus friendly symbolism and such. Haven't been to this place yet, Ripple Rays, but I mean it's like a Grateful Dead themed bar, and they've got free live music apparently and no cover charge or anything. So I mean that's a recipe for fucking an awesome time in my mind. And I mean plus they got this awesome fucking skeleton with a flower crown shit. Like the vibes here are just immaculate. You know, I haven't gone in, but I can recommend this place just by looking at it, honestly. This is around where I found my boy Taylor busking the other day. I think he was actually right down there by that, like between here and that red awning there that says Kilvin's on it. But he's not out here today. Unfortunately, I haven't run into him again since I've been in town. I've been coming through here every day, just checking it out, seeing if he's around or whatever. But I may have his number, so if I wanted to like hang out or something, I could text him. But I like to, I've been busy. Haven't really been looking to like pester him about things like that or whatever. I just, like to come through areas where I know people are sometimes going to be, and then if I see them, it's like a pleasant surprise, like it's sometimes more fun to meet up with people when you're not coordinating it, So yeah, haven't seen him again, but maybe I will before I leave town. If not, oh well, maybe I'll see him again in the future when I come back through town. But he was very cool. I honestly don't think there's much else in that direction. Like the 7-Eleven is right down there. If you walk down there and go to the right, there's like McDonald's and Chipotle and stuff. That was where the McDonald's I went to charge my phone the other day was. That was where the Chipotle was where I met that Muslim dude. But it's there's not much else in the way of like foot traffic or anything. So I think I'm going to turn around here and I'm going to perhaps go to another location. I think maybe what I will try to do now is go down to Texas Beach. I think I should do that now before it gets too dark, because it's going to get dark. I mean, I'm hoping it doesn't like rain and thunder while I'm there. Like what forecast is saying that there's a chance of like a thunderstorm, and it would kind of suck if it starts thundering while I'm there, because then I'll definitely get stuck in the rain and be soaked. But at least I don't have like all my shit on me, like my backpack and everything, so all my shit won't get soaked. And hopefully it won't rain too hard if it does. And hopefully I can get in and out quickly, because I do want to go there and just show you guys the Pump House Park and that whole area down there. And then probably come back pretty quickly, hopefully before dark, because walking those trails in the dark can be kind of treacherous, I would think. I mean, it was kind of dark when I was coming back the other day, and I was like, I almost tripped a few times. A lot of like roots going across the path and just uneven footing and stuff. Slippery in some places. So yeah, I think I'm going to try to head there now and hopefully get that out of the way before the rain and before the dark. That would be awesome. So I'm going to try to catch a bus in that direction, and then there will be a bit of a walk from there. Okay, so I looked at the bus schedule, and it turned out that taking a bus to get to where I wanted to go would, I'd have to wait 20 minutes for the bus, and then I would still have like a 23-minute walk after getting off the bus. Meanwhile, if I just walk there directly, it's like just half an hour. So I'll get there way earlier if I just walk. And it's only going to be like, 5 or 6 more minutes of walking than it would otherwise be if I took the bus. So I'm just going to walk it. And I went into Capital One Cafe, and they gave me some free ice water, which was very nice of them. So just another reason to recommend Capital One Cafe if you're out here and you're in need of some ice water. They'll give it to you for free, just like Starbucks. Pretty cool. But I'm down on my way down to the Pump House Park. I'm walking down Shepherd Street here, and this eventually will turn into like the Pump House Drive, I think it's called, or something. But it's basically going to be a straight shot down to the Pump House Park, and then once I get there, it'll be maybe a 20-minute walk, 15-20-minute walk to get to the actual Texas Beach area that I want to show you guys. And then I'll have to hike all the way back, do it all again, but in reverse. And it's downhill most of the way there, and then uphill most of the way back. So it's going to be a pretty bad hike, but it won't be nearly as bad as it was to do the other day with my fucking backpack on. especially climbing up that railway ballast. Yeah, it was like a steep hill of railway ballast on both sides of the tracks, obviously. So having to climb up that with a heavy backpack on, not fun, let me tell you. But yeah, I'll update you when we're getting close to the park. Oh, this church right here, this First Unitarian Universalist Church, I heard this is a good spot to sleep. Pretty peaceful. I don't know exactly where. I don't know if they said behind the building or like behind that wall there or something, but yeah, I mean, probably there. Maybe you can do it. Like, there's probably plenty of little spots around this building, maybe even down that staircase, that you can get away with sleeping. And I guess the people who own this place don't really give travelers or sleepers much trouble, from what I've heard at least. But I haven't actually tried to sleep here yet. But yeah, I guess this is one of the spots. Oh, back there looks like it wouldn't be too bad either. Shit, this place has plenty of like little hidden spots. Seems like they'd be nice to camp. This is Bird Park right here. This is where I slept yesterday during the day. Pretty big, nice little park. You can easily lay out under a tree during the day and just kind of sleep. I think I'm supposed to be going on this road over here, but we're getting closer to the Pump House Park. Okay, no, never mind. It's actually this road over here that I'm supposed to be going on. Thank goodness for Google Maps. Otherwise, I would be hopelessly lost a lot of the time. Okay, I'm getting pretty close to the Pump House Park now, but I just heard, I think it was the first rumble of thunder, and it's starting to very gently like rain. So this might be a bad situation. I've still got a bit longer to walk, and if it started like downpouring right now, I wouldn't really easily be able to get out of the downpour. So I'm just gonna hope for the best. But yeah, we're gonna try to do this, rain or shine. I mean, again, at least I don't have my backpack with me, so if my clothes get wet, whatever, I'll have to change them and do laundry again, I guess. But fuck it, we ball. Well, there seem to be a lot of cars here at least, so that means a lot of other people are here, presumably unbothered by the possibility of rain. So I hope that's a good sign. I hope these people, know what they're talking about or know what they're doing here. I'm going to trust in the wisdom of the crowds and assume that these people who are here outside know better about the upcoming weather forecast than I do by just looking at the sky and using my intuition. So I'm going to ignore my gut on this occasion. We'll see if it pays off. So this is the pump house. There's actually a deer right there, right at this moment, just hanging out, grazing. This is like a historic pump house building, as the name suggests. And yeah, it's pretty cool looking. And they have this little park here where you can just like kind of walk around the whole area and get right up close to the actual building itself. So we'll go check this out real quick on our way to Texas Beach. Yep, this is the building right here. Pretty well maintained, it looks like, for a building that I don't think is in use anymore. No trespassing after dark. I guess you can only trespass before dark. I don't know if that actually opens up and you can go in there and do stuff sometimes. Maybe it is in use for certain things, but yep. Another big set of doors. This crosses a little river right here. That goes down to the woods, but it's very treacherous. It goes directly down a steep hill. So we're not going to be taking that trail. We're going to be going this way. That trail goes somewhere. I think that's some kind of walking trail, but I haven't gone down there yet. This is the way that we're going this time. You got to be careful and watch your step here. Maybe not go as fast as I'm going. That's probably not a good idea. It's a little treacherous, a little slippery, but we made it. And this is where things get a little more overgrown and muddy as well, apparently. You gotta step up these rocks here. And then, if we go this way, see, when I came here, I was just searching the perimeter, and then I finally found this. I was like, okay. See, if you look for long enough, any area that's worth trespassing, the locals are probably taking care of for you. So if you're wondering how to get around a fence or whatever, you just gotta ask yourself, how do the locals do it? There's someone down there walking on the tracks. I think those are locals, not rail workers or anything, so I think we're good. But just gotta cross the CSX tracks there, go down this little hill. See, these are the hills I was talking about that were kind of a bitch to get up with the backpack, but alright, now we've crossed the tracks. We are officially trespassing, or we were trespassing. I don't know if we're considered to be trespassing anymore, since now we're no longer on the railroad property, but you might still be able to get in trouble for trespassing if they can tell that you've gotten here, you know, in a way that requires trespassing. Like, I think you can still get to Texas Beach by, like, you know, going there on a boat or a jet ski or something. But yeah, there's like a lot of little trails around here going down to the edge of the water. But I've gone to the water side at a lot of these spots, and you know, a lot of them are pretty cool, but most of them are pretty small and low key. I'm just going to the main spot where everyone seems to hang out at. The main area that I assume is generally what people are referring to when they say Texas Beach. And it really is like a little beach in the middle of the city, which is kind of cool. You don't see that kind of thing too often. Richmond's a little bit unique in that respect. It's funny because when I was talking to that home bum Stick the other night, he was telling me like, oh, you know, Texas Beach, you don't want to go down there. That's where some dude's head was found, his body was never found. That's where people go to get killed. I wouldn't even go there without a friend. I wouldn't go there alone, you know. So it was like kind of spooking me, but I didn't have any friends to go with, so I decided to just risk it and come down here by myself. And it ended up being pretty chill. Maybe it's different at night. Maybe he was talking about specifically trying to come here at night and like camp here or something, which I wasn't necessarily intending on doing. But yeah, I mean, at least during the day like this, even as it gets close to the evening hours, I haven't really seen any sketchy activity. To be honest, I haven't seen any sketchy activity in Richmond in general. Like, so a lot of people told me before I came here, like, oh, be a little careful, you know, we got a little bit of a crackhead home bum problem, and, you know, Richmond's a little sketchy. But, I mean, I hear that about almost every city, and I always tell people, I always take it with a grain of salt, because I always assume it's largely based on what neighborhoods you go to and how you act and stuff, you know. You can get yourself into trouble in almost any major city if you want to, but you can also stay out of trouble. And I guess I have been successfully avoiding the sketchy neighborhoods here so far, because yeah, I haven't really seen any sketchy activity. In Shockoe Bottom, there definitely were a few, you know, home bums talking to themselves and shit, which I was warned about, but none of them seemed like threatening or like they were gonna try to rob me or anything like that. And nobody has even tried to offer to sell me drugs since I've been here. Not even weed, which is a shock, because usually every time I get to any new city, historically, I immediately get offered drugs like several times on the first day. So I don't know if it's just my approach is different now. I mean, to be fair, you know, nowadays when I hear about an area like, let's say, Kensington, Philadelphia, I'm like, okay, I'm going to avoid that part of town. That's where the trank zombies hang out, and the drug dealers and shit, and it's sketchy. But, I mean, back in the day, you know, me from a couple years ago would have heard about an area of town like that and probably been like, oh, I should go straight there. That sounds like my people. Want to get some drugs and hang out with the druggies. And, you know, I don't know. I used to assume that, like, those areas would be most friendly to homeless people. But, you know, it can be easy to assume that when you see, like, an area of town with, like, run-down abandoned buildings and stuff. You might be like, oh, these are good for squatting in, you know. You'll probably see a lot of home bums around. But that does not necessarily mean it's a good area for a traveler to be, and especially to be like sleeping at or whatever, because yeah, those, I mean, just because an area has a big homelessness problem and it's kind of run down doesn't mean that it's, you know, that it's going to be traveler friendly. Generally, I try to go to the more, you know, the sort of like punk areas, you know, where the punks live and hang out and stuff, because those kinds of people tend to be pretty friendly to travelers. And I mean, that's why I went to the Guar bar the other night. I was hoping to find those types of people, and I mean, it worked out, you know. Met some really cool people. They were indeed friendly to travelers, and a couple of them were formerly travelers themselves, so yeah. But yeah, good impression of Richmond so far, I must say. I'm gonna miss this city when I leave in a day or two, but I'll come back at some point, you know. I always intend to come back to cities that I visit and that I really enjoy like this. It's got a really, really good vibe. I'm sure you can see how this area might be slightly, you know, treacherous to walk through at night in the dark. Thankfully, I have my, I carry my headlamp, and, well, I got my phone with me too. My phone flashlight's okay, but the headlamp's even better. So I got my headlamp with me at pretty much at all times, and I did have to use my flashlight the other night, and, to navigate out, because I stayed a little too long, and it was getting dark by the time I headed back, like I said. But, it's pretty chill during the day. Just if you come after dark, make sure to bring a flashlight. You don't want to get lost back here and be in a dangerous situation. This is cool. You got like a little bridge right here. Actually, I don't even remember passing through this area. You got train tracks over there too. Did I go too far? Nah, there's no shot. Where the hell am I right now? Oh, this is the continuation of the trail. I was like, where's the trail? Could have sworn it was farther than this. But yeah, this is like I guess, are cars going over there? Sounds like cars are going over. I wasn't sure if this is a rail bridge or a car bridge, but I think it's cars. Anyway, we continue. We're almost there, I think. We've come to this little spot. You can come out on the rocks and look out over the river. It's pretty cool. But our ultimate destination is still yet ahead, a little bit further. Not sure what this was back here, but you got this like cool ruins of some kind of shelter building thing. Discarded glove. Looks like this is a fire pit. That's kind of cool. But we gotta keep moving forward. We're running out of daylight here. Okay, I definitely don't remember seeing this in my path, fallen trees, so I think I went too far. This is still a cool area though, but yeah, I don't remember this either, so I'm gonna try to go back and see if I went the wrong way somehow. Oh, that's what this building is. Fushi's Mill. Huh. Destroyed by flooding. Interesting. I think this might be the area. The guy hanging out way out there. That's a good sign. I think maybe through this trail right here might find what I'm looking for. I'll have to see real quick. Okay, I was like starting to think like, where the hell is this thing? Because I swear I should have seen it by now, but yeah, I looked at my map and I vaguely remember where it was at, and I'm pretty sure I walked like way too far, like at least 10 minutes too far, which is kind of crazy. Can't believe I just like passed it and didn't even notice, but shit happens sometimes. At least we got to see that cool destroyed mill thing, which I didn't get to see the first time I was here, so sort of silver lining to everything. But yeah, we should be at the spot in a few minutes if I can actually find it this time. Let's follow this little trail and see if this is where I'm trying to go. It's a little overgrown, but it looks like, yeah, no, this is not it. God damn it. Honestly, I think I might have to go all the way past that weird bridge that I passed, because I don't think I passed that the first time I went to Texas Beach. I think I have to go all the way back to that bridge and back past it. Yep, here's the bridge again. Yeah, no wonder I couldn't find the path. I was like, man, I'm surprised I found the path so easily last time. So I didn't find the path last time, because I didn't come this way last time. I didn't come this far. At least I don't think so. Watch me walk all the way back and then be like, oh, I passed it again. I don't know, I'm lost. Oh no, I was actually going the right way the first time. That would be just my luck. Alright, let's see. I think this might be the way. Up. Yep. This looks correct, I think. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, okay, it's that area over there, but this is very close to it. I think I can actually walk to it from here if I just step over these rocks. There's a lot of these rocks on the riverside here that people like to jump across. The stick was telling me, I call it rock jumping. I like to do some rock jumping. And I was doing some rock jumping yesterday with my friend over on Belle Isle. Good place for rock jumping. But yeah, this is also a popular spot, that sort of thing, I guess. This side of the river. And this is the Texas Beach. Yeah, I came here the other night and I just kind of relaxed for a little while. I was like, yes, this is my treasure, my prize for exploring for the day. And taking a risk and finding that hole in the fence, because I had a particular route in mind that I wanted to use to get here that I scouted out on Google Maps and looked good, and then it was blocked off by a fence, and I was like getting discouraged and thinking of turning back, because I was like, this fence, I can get over it, I can get under it, you know, I might be able to get through it, but oh, there's a rope swing here too, by the way, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I was like, I might be able to get, you know, around it or over it, under it, or whatever, but I don't think the locals are doing that. You know, I was like, I'm gonna keep searching and see what the locals are doing, and then sure enough, I, you know, went to the Pump House Park, and that's when I found the hole in the fence through the trails there, and it saved my ass. So I was pretty damn happy when I finally got to get here, because this is one of the places that people kept recommending me, and I was like, oh, it's off limits right now because the official pedestrian access is, you know, blocked, is blocked off and closed down. So there's going to be some trespassing. I'm sure you guys like to see a little bit of trespassing every now and again, especially on railroad property, you know, CSX property in this case. I don't think Norfolk Southern runs around here, but CSX has a big yard, the ACA yard, which I might check out later if I have time, even though I'm not planning on trying to hop out of town or anything. You know, people here keep encouraging me to do so. They're like, oh, this town's really easy to hop out of. People still hop here all the time. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to be doing that this time. I'm just trying to hitchhike for now. But yeah, pretty nice, peaceful little spot. There's not even anybody here right now. The first time I came here, there was some, you know, a few small groups of people hanging out, you know, maybe like 7 or 8 people total. But now it's just me. But yeah, unfortunately, I gotta kind of start heading back. I can't spend much time here today because I have more stuff to do. I've got you know, a show that I want to get to tonight, hopefully, assuming, you know, my boys are gonna be there and they don't, you know, cancel and tell me, oh no, we're actually not gonna be there. Because if they're not gonna be there, I'm probably not gonna go, because it might cost like $20, and that's pretty steep for me. But I figure maybe I'll be willing to drop it and say fuck it and just not buy any drinks or anything, just only spend that $20 for the night, just because, you know, like I said, it's been a while since I went to a show or anything. I don't get to do that kind of stuff very often, and especially, you know, when someone invites me and I know they're gonna be there and stuff, it's like, you know, extra special. Oh, I don't know why I went this way. I should have gone back to the trail. Well, I kind of was going back to the trail, but I was supposed to go up that hill there. I was about to just absentmindedly walk right into this little fucking creek, because I was too distracted talking to myself, talking to you guys, really. But more treacherous footing here. What the hell is this? Like a fucking piece of railroad track? It's interesting. But yeah, back to the Pump House Park we go. Alright, I've crossed back over the tracks and I'm heading back out now. Oh, I gotta watch your step here. Oh. Alright, here we are, back at the Pump House Park. Beautiful. Very grateful that I didn't have to make that hike this time with a heavy backpack on, because I am winded even without the backpack. Alright, I'm now leaving Pump House Park, and I'm going to head this way because I want to show you guys something up here real quick. But man, I wish I had more water. It sucks that I ran out of water, you know, before I even got to Texas Beach, and now I'm just like, oh, I need to get back to town and get something to drink. I'm getting dehydrated. But I'm okay though. Now this whole fence here, this goes to I guess railroad property or state property or something. See how it's all, there's barbed wire on top. This is the fence line that I was following when I first got here and I was trying to find a way to Texas Beach. Because as I'll show you in a minute here, there was, you know, the main entrance to the yard was gated off and everything, and I was trying to figure out if there was a way through it or whatever. And, but usually, you know, like I said, you don't usually need to go actually hop fences or go under them or anything if it's a place that, you know, that locals are frequenting and trespassing in, because again, you can usually just follow the fence and somewhere you're going to find a hole. That's like just a universal rule. Where there is a fence protecting private property, there will be a hole. At least if it's like, if there's anything interesting behind the fence at all. See that right there is, for example, probably a spot where if you wanted to, you could squeeze under the fence if you're skinny enough. I'm sure I could get under that. But, you know, with a heavy backpack like I had on yesterday or the day before, it wouldn't really have worked out too well. I doubt I would have been able to fit my pack under there, but you've got lots of little holes like this. That one might be too small for a person, but you look for holes like that on the underside of fences. You can usually get through them if you're sufficiently skinny. If you want to check if you're big enough to fit through, if you're not sure, usually if you try to put your feet through and your feet go through, like, you know, facing vertically, facing up, like your toes pointed upward, not sideways, that is, then your whole body will usually be able to fit through. So that's the rule of thumb. But let's go take a look at this fence down here. Yeah, so you can see over there, right? That is the bridge that has direct access to the tracks that I was trying to get to, because, you know, normally there's a bridge like way over that way that you cross over that goes over the creek and the tracks, but in this case, you know, like I mentioned earlier, it's closed down for repairs. So this, I looked on Google Maps, and this seemed to be the only other bridge that was going over the creek, which is really the main roadblock to get to the tracks. But of course, it says warning, no trespassing, you know, attention CSX employees, blah, blah, blah. Because, you know, I guess only like rail workers and authorized personnel are supposed to use that bridge because, again, it has direct track access and civilians are not usually allowed on the tracks. So I'm just like checking out this fence. I'm like, all right, maybe I can squeeze through there or there. You know, maybe I'm skinny enough. You saw that fence I squeezed through back in Danville, or that gate. You know, you got barbed wire on top, but barbed wire fences are pretty easy to climb. You can literally just climb the middle part here, stand on those pieces on top, or even better, this one over here, which is even wider, and then just jump over. Barbed wire fences are very easy to defeat in that way. And then I was also looking at this, and I was like, oh, well, I can maybe crawl under there, you know, but again, with my big backpack, that would be an issue. And so would trying to jump it, really, or go through. So that's why I was like, all right, I'm just going to go up there and follow it that way, and maybe there'll be a way around. I also tried down there, too. I was like, this looks like a spot where someone would cut a secret hole, but I didn't see any holes down there. So I was like, all right, I guess maybe trespassing in this particular area here, this parking lot, is not the way to go. I don't know how active it is or how, you know, how much security it has or whatever, surveillance. But, yeah, I went around and eventually found that hole. So just goes to show, where there's a will, there's a way, you know. Just because plan A doesn't work out doesn't mean you should give up. Just keep trying, and oftentimes, if you are curious enough, you will find what you are looking for. Anyway, let's head out now. I'm going to go back towards downtown and maybe try to grab some water somewhere, but maybe also try to check out a couple more spots before I try to hit up this show tonight, if that's still, you know, if the boys are still on for that. So let's continue. I think this right here is still part of Bird Park. I think Bird Park is technically very, very, very large, like almost 300 acres or something. But yeah, we're quite a distance away from the other part of Bird Park that I showed you guys before. But I'm walking to the bus stop right now. It would be like an hour walk to get to where I wanted to go next. And honestly, taking the bus is like going to be a more circuitous route, so it might take even longer, especially since I have to like wait for buses and stuff. But honestly, I've been just walking for at least the last hour and a half probably, so I'm ready to take a little break and be able to sit down for a few minutes on the bus and get some air conditioning and stuff, you know. And maybe I'll stop in town and get something to drink if I can, get some water. Alright, well, I made it to the bus stop, and then I realized that the bus wasn't coming for half an hour, and I'm a 15-minute walk away from the nearest convenience store, so I'm just gonna walk, deal with it, and hope that once I get to the convenience store, I should be like, you know, closer to the center of town, and I should be pretty close to some other bus stop, I assume, and hopefully the buses will be running more often at that part of town too, so hopefully I'll be able to catch a bus very quickly to where I'm trying to go after that. Or honestly, I might just go to the show, because it is getting late, and the doors opened at 7. It's already past 7. The music starts at 8, so I don't know how long it goes. I don't mind being a little late, but I don't want to be too late, so, you know, I'm thinking if I take a bus across town and then have to come back and stuff, I might not be there until, I don't know, 9 or even later, so I might try to film some more stuff tomorrow that I was planning on doing today. We'll see how I'm feeling after I get this water, and, you know, what I think about how much time I have and whether I'll be able to swing it and everything. Huh, look at that. These people got mushrooms growing in their yard. That's interesting. Look at that right there. Looks like it was once a nice place. because they got burned or something, covered some fire damage, but looks like it could potentially be a squattable building if it was in a more low-key area of town. I don't know how you'd be able to wait. I mean, it doesn't look like there's any way in. Maybe in the back or something. One of the boarded up windows is the boards are removed or whatever. But those sorts of buildings, they might look nice, but you gotta always, you know, be careful if they're in a sketchy part of town, first of all, because a lot of those kinds of buildings can be used by, you know, for nefarious purposes, and you don't want to walk in on the wrong thing at the wrong time. And also, you always gotta look out for bed bugs. A lot of those places are like condemned with bed bugs. Usually you'll see a notice about that kind of stuff, so you gotta be careful of that. You don't want to squat in a place with bed bugs, because then you'll have bed bugs forever, or you gotta get rid of all your shit, and that's no fun. Alright, yeah, there's been a slight change of plans. My friend actually just texted me and said that he is now on his way to the show, so I decided, alright, I'll do the other stuff across town that I was planning on doing tomorrow, and for now, I'm just gonna go back to my friend's place real quick, just to drop some stuff off from my fanny pack. You know, a little bit of extra weight I don't need, and crushable things or whatever, because I don't know how crazy it's gonna get at the show, whether people are gonna be smashing into each other and stuff. I was told it's more of like a punk show than a hardcore show, so there shouldn't be people actually like moshing. He said it would be somewhere between like a mosh pit and like a push pit. So, you know, whatever that means, I don't want to take any risks. So I'm not gonna bring anything super fragile. Just a few essentials in my fanny pack, and so yeah, I'm heading back to my friend's place. I'm like 15 minutes away from there. I'm gonna drop my stuff off, and then I will head to the show, which I think should be another like 10 or 15 minute walk, maybe 20 from where I'm staying. I did stop at the store and got this, because I figured I was almost gonna not stop, because I was like, all right, I'm gonna be at my friend's house in 15 minutes anyway. Is it worth like paying for water when I could just get water there for free? So I decided if I'm gonna pay for a drink, I might as well get something with some tasty flavor. You know, I do love a good Minute Maid lemonade, so I decided to splurge a little bit on this lemonade, and I'm sure it will be very refreshing. You know, I always wonder about things like this. Here it says the serving size is 8 ounces, and the 20-ounce bottle, 2.5 servings per container. Yep, that sounds about right. But then 100 calories per serving and 260 calories per container. It should be 250, right? Where do the extra 10 calories come from? It's a mystery. Ghost calories, man. Alright, I made a brief pit stop at my friend's place. Dropped off a few things. I'm good to go now. Heading to the bus stop to go to Bandito's. It was actually a little bit further of a walk than I thought. It's like a 30-minute walk, so I am going to be taking a bus part of the way. Hopefully I can make it to this bus stop. And like, apparently the bus is coming in like 4 minutes, and I'm about 4 or 5 minutes away, so I got a New York walk here, and I make time. Yeah, hopefully this will be fun. Alright, well, I just missed the bus, so looks like now my fastest way to get there is by walking. And it's like a 30-minute walk, so that's fun. I was looking forward to having, you know, a few minutes of sitting on the bus and not having to walk another half hour after I just did enough walking, frankly, for a little while. But, you know, I'll just stop being a pussy, I guess. We'll be fine. We'll make it there eventually, right? We still got plenty of time. I mean, the place closes at 2. I doubt the show goes on until 2. But I don't know if I'll stay until 2. But, you know, I'm sure I got plenty of time getting there at 8:30 and everything. And the show hasn't started too long ago. It's possible that, you know, the openers will still be up when I get there. Quite likely, in fact. So, not too worried. But 30-minute walk. Here we come. I'm here at Bandito's. I've been enjoying myself so far. I missed the first band, but I saw 3 of them, and there's going to be one more, so there's 5 bands total. And yeah, the last band's about to start their set in a few minutes here, and then probably going to head out and possibly go to Gore Bar afterwards, just to hang out for a little bit before going back to my place I'm staying at. So hang in there. The night is still young. well, that was fun. The show is over now, and everyone's hanging out, having a good time, and I'm going to be probably heading to Guar Bar after this to hang out for a little bit. So, good show, Banditos. It was $20, so it was a little expensive. I'm told that the shows here are usually like $10. So, even for this place, I guess, is a little expensive, and especially for my blood, you know. But I figured I could splurge a little tonight because, you know, it's the only show that I've been to in a long time, and that I will go to in a while probably. So, I could excuse the expense this time. Anyway, Guar Bar next, I guess. Alright. Well, here I am at the Guar Bar for the after party. There's actually a lot of people here that were at the show too, so that's kind of cool. I don't know if you guys can hear me right now because it's really loud in here, but hopefully you'll be able to hear me a little bit. Yeah, so my phone died at the Guar Bar last night, and I was, you know, too busy socializing and, you know, just kind of chilling out because it was a long day of walking around and filming and stuff. My phone said I walked 30,000 steps and over 16 miles yesterday, which I don't know how that's possible because that day that I made my first 2 videos in Danville, I walked like 11 miles that day, and I felt like I walked a lot more that day than I did yesterday, but maybe I was just a lot more out of shape you know, a few weeks ago because I wasn't used to walking, and maybe now I'm getting more used to walking, so it feels like nothing. Maybe 16 miles, you know, it doesn't feel that bad. I don't know. But at any rate, yeah, my phone died, but now it's the next day, and I'm, as promised, going to go to a few more locations that I want to show you guys, and then I'll probably wrap up this video because it is now Wednesday. I've been here since Saturday, and I'm planning on leaving tomorrow and hitching north to DC. Hopefully getting to DC, you know, by the end of the day tomorrow. But who knows? It could end up like you know, the hitch from Danville again, and could take a couple days. We'll see. But anyway, right now I'm going to this little pedestrian bridge that goes across to Belle Isle. I mentioned that I went to Belle Isle the other day, and there was a lot of those like rocks, you know, similar to the Texas beach area, those rocks that you can jump across and stuff. You know, it's one of those rock jumping spots. There's walking trails. I'm not going to be going and exploring like the whole island right now because you know, it's a lot of, you know, kind of just trails and, like I said, rocks and a lot of the same sort of stuff that we saw yesterday. But I do want to go at least to the edge of the island. I want to go across the bridge just because there's nice views from the bridge. The bridge itself is pretty cool. It's like this pedestrian bridge that's like, it's like arched. It like goes up and down. I guess they wanted to make it a real chore to walk across it. They couldn't just make it flat, but it looks cool at least. And it's like hanging from an overpass, hanging over from like a, you know, a bridge that carries cars over the river. And yeah, it's just a really cool structure, very unique looking bridge. So I want to check that out and show you guys how that is. And then I also want to go across and show you a couple abandoned structures that are on Belle Isle too, because Belle Isle has there used to be like a prison camp there and like a factory and stuff. So there's some cool, you know, abandoned shit to see there. Nothing too, you know, crazy or extensive. Like, it's pretty much just like the shell, like the frame of these structures is left over, and you can like walk around inside. So we'll just briefly go and look at it. You know, there's not much to like explore really, but yeah, then we'll go to a couple other places. So let's go. Okay, decided to make a small detour because on my way to the pedestrian bridge I'm going to, I'm actually passing the Hollywood Cemetery here, which has a lot of graves of famous Confederate generals and presidents and stuff. But I'm specifically looking for one particular person's grave, and you might have an idea of who that is. But you will, if you don't, you will find out momentarily. Because I'm not exactly sure where I'm going here, but I will. You know, I'm usually pretty good at finding things, you know, just by wandering around. So I'm just gonna do that, wander around, and see if I can find what I'm looking for here real quick. This is quite nice. Looks like that fountain is working. The fountain's not turned off like all the other fountains I've seen in Virginia over the last couple of weeks. It's interesting. Cool that there's this little shaded sitting area in the middle of the cemetery. It's actually quite nice. I believe I'm going this way. I think that the place I'm going is going to be maybe at the top of that hill somewhere. I know it's going to be at the top of a hill. I'm going to have to hike a little bit to get to it, but let's see here. Okay, I'm going to get off the main road now and just walk up this hill because I think I'm actually supposed to be going this way. So let's just hike up the hill for a little bit. By the way, quick tip on hiking up hills without making your muscles tire out too quickly. Each time you take a step forward, you want to lock your back leg, like at least for a fraction of a second. Longer if it's a steeper hill, because as you're locking your leg, it puts the pressure on your bone instead of your leg muscle. So it gives your muscle like a split second of rest, and that adds up in terms of making you tire out a lot less quickly. So yeah, it's a classic hiker tip. It looks like we have a deer hanging out here right in the middle of the cemetery. How nice. So let's continue on our way. I think we're almost where we're going. Okay, now I'm going back down the hill via these stairs because I think I might have gone too far. I don't really know what I'm doing here. Oh, actually, here we are. This is exactly what I was looking for. Oh, there's some little dolls and stuff. Someone left like a rock. Looks like they left a plant. Maybe those were flowers or something at some point, but they wilted. But here it is. David Murray Brocky. Life is painful, life is long, life's too short, it's like a song. This is the mastermind behind Gwar. If for those who didn't know, he was the front man, and he was very beloved, which is why he got this whole badass grave here in the Hollywood Cemetery. So, since I've been going to the Gwar bar the last few nights, I wanted to stop here and pay my respects as well, at least briefly. But now we're going to continue on towards Belle Isle now that we've made our little pilgrimage here. This is a cool little view down the hill there. I don't know what the hell is going on. It's like some sort of creek or something, I guess. Over here we can see downtown Richmond. This is the bridge I was talking about here. We can't really see the pedestrian part at the moment because it's covered by the trees, but yeah, that's the car bridge, and then the pedestrian bridge is kind of like hanging under it, which we will see when we get a little bit closer. But yeah, I just gotta try to find the trailhead here. I think I'm going the right way. Here, let me see if I can get a better view from here. What can I see from here? Oh, that's where that goes. Down the hill it goes to the trail. Okay, that makes sense actually. Yeah. Pretty cool. But yeah, that's where I'm headed down there. You can kind of see the edge of the pedestrian bridge. But yeah, pretty cool little route we're going here. I'll show you guys in a minute. Alright, this looks like the right direction. Pretty sure. Oh geez, do I have to go all the way down there? Nah, there's gotta be a quicker way. There's gotta be like a staircase over here or something. Hang on a second. Oh, perfect. Just what I was looking for. Wow. Jeez. Stairs are a little bit treacherous, but we made it. Alright, this way. We've got some railroad tracks here that you can apparently very easily access by just climbing up this hill here. Am I still going the right way? I think maybe it's this way. This is cool. It's pretty little. I guess this is like a rail bridge right here. Well, yeah, because the tracks are right there. So it's definitely a rail bridge. Always love to see these for some reason. And here's another one of these no trespassing signs in an area where, like, who would want to trespass here, I mean, the bridge is cool to look at and stuff, but, like, what are people going to do? Hang out under the bridge and get high? It's crazy. It's places that they choose to put no trespassing signs sometimes. It's wild. And it's funny, I just passed like this family coming back from Belle Isle, and you know, one of the ladies, she says to her kid, "Oh, did you enjoy jumping on the rocks or jumping off the rocks?" And I just thought that was funny because, you know, I mentioned the rock jumping thing, right? And it's like, I swear I've heard about this rock jumping thing so many times, and it seems like such a basic thing, you know, but like, it seems like it's like part of the Richmond culture that people just love to jump on those rocks or jump across those rocks, jump between those rocks, whatever, down by the river. And yeah, that's one of the things I love about traveling, is just finding like kind of weird little quirky aspects of local cultures like this, like the rock jumping thing. You know, this is what I travel for, you know. Oh, but this is the bridge right here that I was talking about. See the overpass, the pedestrian or the car bridge is up there, and the pedestrian bridge just kind of hangs off it by these steel cables, and you can see over there that it's like, yeah, it's in this like arcing pattern, you know, where it goes up and down and up and down and up and down 3 or 4 times. So yeah, it does make it a little bit more of a bitch to walk on, but I like the design. And you can also kind of feel the bridge swaying and rumbling as you walk across it, especially when it's particularly windy. You know, the wind makes it sway a little bit, and then when you like walk past people, you can feel the vibrations of their footsteps kind of shaking the bridge and stuff, which I imagine might not be for everyone. Some people might get kind of spooked about that sort of thing. I know my mom probably is one of those people. Just wouldn't be able to handle standing on a bridge above water that's shaking like this, but I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I trust the engineers of this structure. You know, if they say it's safe to walk on, then I'm just gonna trust their judgment. Beautiful views here over the James River. That's downtown Richmond right there. Again, it's actually, this is about the spot I stood at when I took the thumbnail photo for the last video, so you might recognize that, although it was a little later at night, so the skyline looked a little prettier because it was all lit up. But yeah, almost to Belle Isle. We'll be there in like 5 minutes. Then we're gonna quickly look at those little abandoned structures, and then gonna turn around and go back to town and look at some other stuff, because I'm running out of daylight here, and I got some preparations to make before leaving town tomorrow, so I don't want to be up too late tonight, you know. And you can see the people in the distance way out there jumping on the rocks, hanging out on the rocks, doing some rock jumping. Sure enough, that's one of the spots to do it. Alright, well, here we are on Belle Isle. Not exactly sure what that structure is there, but the place we're going to is over in this direction. You can see over there that thing, which I'm not sure if that's part of the old POW camp or if that's also part of the factory. And this over here is apparently part of an old factory or something. The sign up here will explain it. Yeah, so this was apparently owned by Old Dominion Iron and Steel, and they made nails, and they had a quarry and a mill and everything. Yeah, and a bunch of furnaces for smelting metals and stuff. And yeah, that all happened right here, I guess. As you can see, there's not much left of this building here. It's kind of surprising that it used to be any kind of factory or anything like that. Well, I don't know exactly what this building was, to be fair, because they just said there was, you know, there were a bunch of buildings around here with different purposes, so I'm not too sure. But this is pretty cool at any rate. I don't see any tags up there. I was looking up to see if I see any fucking graffiti tags like at the very top. I wouldn't be surprised. Those graffiti artists, man, they know how to get around to places you wouldn't expect. But let's go check this out real quick before we leave the island here. Some tags there. Yeah, I don't know exactly what this building was, but this is a lot more extensive. There's some people skating here, as you can see. So this is obviously a cool little hangout spot. Yeah, again, I don't know exactly what this building was, but it is pretty cool to walk around in. Anyway, I think that, you know, it's not like there's no rooms in here or anything to explore, so not much point walking around for much longer. So I'm going to try to head back now and get to the railroad tracks, the triple crossing, because Richmond actually has one of, some say it's I've seen some sources that say it's the only triple crossing in the United States. Other places said it's one of two. I'm not sure what the other one is, or what the other one might be, if it does exist. But yeah, Richmond has this spot where 3 different freight rail tracks cross at like the same exact point, and it's, you know, kind of a holy grail, you know, pilgrimage site for rail fans and such. So I'm going to go check it out and take a look at it and be in awe. And back across this bridge. Hello again, downtown Richmond. It's a small little skyline, but quite nice. Oh, I don't know what happened down there. I actually noticed this yesterday when I came here. It's like a, yeah, I don't know what happened there. It's like, it looks like a piece of a rail trestle bridge or something that just like fell, but from where? I don't get what happened there. But I heard it, someone said that they think it happened fairly recently, but who knows, man. As it turns out, the triple railroad crossing we're going to is pretty much directly in this direction. Like, this street will just like go and go and go, and I'll basically be walking along this street for 20 minutes, and then I'll basically be there, which in retrospect makes sense, since, you know, there's this whole rail bridge right here that's probably going directly there. So I'm just gonna be walking almost parallel with this rail bridge basically until I get to the crossing. This is interesting. It's like a little boat ramp here, and a bunch of kayaks. I guess this is like a kayak rental thing. I don't know where the worker is or whatever. You'd think there would be like a worker here to rent the kayak. It says the price and everything, but it doesn't. I don't see any people here. Like, how would I actually go about renting a kayak? What's to stop me from just taking a kayak and renting it for free? I don't know. Cool cannon. But anyway, let's continue. I guess this right here is the canal. And I think we're now coming up on what's called the Canal Walk. And I believe the Canal Walk trail is going to be where we're going to be able to find a spot to view the triple railroad crossing from. So that's cool. Just gotta find the Canal Walk trail. I'm like 10 minutes away from the destination now, I think. Alright, I wonder if there's gonna be a place where I can get some water soon. There's like such a lack of water fountains along these trails. It's kind of ridiculous. You know, like, these walking trails are cool, but they need more water fountains, because it's not like there's fucking stores you can just easily stop at along these trails. And I did not bring enough water yet again today. I didn't bring any water, actually. For some reason, I forgot. And this is becoming a theme in my videos. You know, because yesterday I also was running out of water. And you might remember, if you saw my Danville videos, my first and my second video. My first and second videos, I was like running out of water. So, you know, I need to do something about my water habits. I'm gonna block ahead. Do not enter. Don't tempt me with a good time. Actually, I guess the phrase is don't threaten me with a good time, but, you know, tempt works just as well, in my opinion. That's pretty cool looking over there. Some kind of like electrical substation or something. Very nice. Okay, I think this here is technically considered the Canal Walk. So now I'm officially on the Canal Walk, and I think if I walk down this trail for about 20 minutes, I know I think I said I was 10 minutes away, and then it turned out I was a little farther than that. So I think now I am about 15-20 minutes. But I think if I walk down this trail for maybe 15-20 minutes, I should be able to get to the spot. Oh, I think I'm going in the right direction. Triple crossing, it says. There's lots of people come down this way to look at the triple crossing. I gotta say, my legs and feet are definitely kind of feeling the damage from last night. I was dancing like hell for like maybe 2 hours straight. Well, I had, there were some breaks because there were 5 bands, so between the sets, we all went out for a smoke break and chilled and stuff. But Man, I haven't danced like that since I was in Nashville in 2024. It kills your feet, but it's good for the soul. And it was an interesting night too, because like it's interesting to go to cities where like you know, where certain scenes or whatever are kind of tight knit, and you'll see the same people, you know, in different places just by pure chance. Like yesterday, for example, there was one guy I saw when I went to the record store, and then I saw him later that night at the show in a completely different part of town. And plus I saw a bunch of people that I recognized from the Guar bar, you know, the previous night. And then, you know, after the show we went to the Guar bar, and a bunch of people were there from the show. And it was just, you know, it seems like the punk community here in particular is like kind of tight knit, you know, which, you know, it is pretty big. This is definitely a pretty big, you know, punk city, as they say, I guess. But at the same time, like, it feels like you run into people you know, which is always jarring to me, you know, being used to New York City and stuff. But, which, you know, you'd think it wouldn't be jarring at this point, because, I mean, I've traveled a decent amount at this point and been to, you know, cities where that's not the case. But I'm always like, I don't know, my default expectation is like for things to be like New York, even though I know consciously that, you know, nothing's going to be like New York. Alright, I'm just going to go into this place here, and I'm going to get some water. Alright, well, like I said yesterday, I don't like paying for water. If I'm going to pay for a drink, I prefer to have, you know, something with flavor. So I grabbed a blue Gatorade. It'll give me some extra electrolytes and carbohydrates to help with this strenuous physical activity of walking all around in this heat. Haven't had a Gatorade in a long time, honestly, so I'm sure it'll be quite refreshing. This says Pipeline Overlook, and then it has an arrow pointing left, but the arrow looks like it's drawn with chalk or something, so I'm not sure if the Pipeline Overlook, whatever that means, is actually that way, or if some smart ass is being deceptive and it's actually this way. I'm really not sure which way I'm supposed to go in general, so I'm just gonna try this way and see if it takes me where I'm going. Not sure where this goes either. Oh, this is just a little overlook. Maybe this is the Pipeline Overlook that they were talking about. Is that a walking trail? Oh no, that's... looks like that might actually be a pipe. Might be a pipeline. Looks like there's a walkway on top, I guess for workers or something. I assume civilians are not supposed to walk on top of that. But, yeah, I guess this is the Pipeline Overlook, so it was to the right, and they were being a smartass. Interesting looking building right there. But I think we still have a bit further to go to get to the triple crossing, so let's continue. Some interesting artwork on this wall. Oh, okay. Real love versus fake hate. Fuck patriarchy. Okay, I can groove to that. I just fell in love with Mort. I don't know who Mort is, but good for you, Mort. Someone loves you so much they wrote your name on a wall in public. That's dedication right there. As a keeper, whoever it is. Eat the rich, not the kids. What the fuck? Oh. Jeez. There's a lot of interesting stuff on this wall. Yeah, some of the most interesting graffiti I've seen in a little bit. There's like discarded pieces of chairs and trash and stuff down here. Looks like someone might have been making an encampment here at some point. In fact, what the hell is that over there? There might still be an encampment here. Right, the woods right here for all I know. There actually was an encampment. As I was saying, oh, there might be an encampment here. Up to my right, there's a dude standing right there in the woods, and I look into the clearing in the woods, and there's a whole ass encampment in there. So this is one of those spots, I guess. Yeah, here's one of the tracks, and there's another one. So the triple crossing has got to be right around here somewhere. I just don't know where the best spot to view it from is, so I got to find that real quick. Oh, I see now. It's still further ahead because the tracks cross back there, but then they kind of, you know, they intersect, and then they both curve, and they curve back into each other, and intersect again. And then in the next spot where they intersect, that's going to be where the third track goes across as well, and then, you know, you're at the triple crossing. I'm actually not sure whether I should go on this path or whether I should go across the street over here, but I think I'm going to try this way. I'm gonna try to stay on this side of the wall and hope for the best, I guess. Okay, I think I actually want to go this way, so I'm turning around now, going left. And I think I can join back up with the Canal Walk right up here somewhere, and then if I go that way, I think it will have like an elevated portion or something, and that will give me a good view of the triple crossing. Oh, I think it's actually right there. I think I see where the Canal Walk continues right over there, so I think that's where I'm going. Ooh, I hate to be the person that's dedicated to. Oh, come on. No camping on the Canal Walk. We gotta ruin the fun for everyone, don't ya? Looks like that guy's actually camping right there, so not everyone is following the rules. Good though, you know? Good for people who decide to camp wherever the fuck they want. Public property should be public property. We should be able to camp and sleep wherever we want, you know, if we don't have a place to go inside. It's ridiculous that you can get arrested just for fucking sleeping outside on public property. That's just crazy. There we are, we're basically the spot. See, this is number 1, number 2, and number 3 is like right up there, I think. So this is the triple railroad crossing. Actually, no, wait. 1, 2. The third one is, third one's on the ground over there, actually. So maybe this is the best spot to view it from over here. I almost missed that one. Let me see here. Yeah, so what if I can get a better vantage point? I'd like to get a little bit higher up so I can properly see the tracks over there. But yeah, there's one track running at ground level, at grade, as they say, over there, and then this track here and this track here. So this is the triple crossing spot right here, technically. Pretty cool. Where else are you gonna find this sort of concentration of railroad tracks in one spot? Nowhere else in the United States, apparently, except maybe one other mystery location that I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to revolt. I'm going to continue on, and I think I want to try to check out the Great Shiplock Park now. That's the next spot that I wanted to go to. I had heard it's kind of cool. I don't know. We'll find out if that's true, I guess. I decided I'm actually going to go up here real quick on this bridge, because I think I'm going to see if this gives me a slightly better view of the triple crossing, or just a different view, you know. Not too much better. It would be nice if those trees weren't in the way, but at least if we go this way, we can kind of get closer to the tracks over here. I believe this set of tracks right here, the ground level one, is owned by Norfolk Southern, and then the two upper levels of track are owned by CSX. So yeah. Oh yeah, see that sign right there? Do not trespass, Norfolk Southern Corp. So we've been seeing no trespassing CSX signs around town, but this is the first Norfolk Southern sign that we've seen. I don't think Norfolk Southern has like a major yard here. I think people who hop out of town mainly hop the CSX trains from the ACA yard. But I guess that one, that was really loud. I guess that one Norfolk Southern track runs through town, so you do see both of them in this spot, which is pretty interesting. I don't know if am I not supposed to go over this or what? Am I gonna get in trouble for this? I hope not, but it was pretty easy to bypass. I'm just trying to take a picture of authorized vehicles only. See, this is the ad grade track, then you have that track, and then this one. Pretty cool little spot here. Maybe if I back up a little bit, maybe if I go over here I can get a better view. I'm not too sure. I just want to get like a nice view for like a Instagram picture or something, This looks like a pretty cool spot. guess I'll take a picture from here. Alright, I got my photo. I'm good now. I'm ready to go back outside this chain before anyone starts yelling at me for fucking trespassing or whatever. I mean, I could just be like, oh, I didn't see the chain there. I actually just went around it. I didn't step over it or anything. Maybe that would work. Anyway, I'm gonna go check out Great Shiplock Park now. And then we're gonna be getting close to the end of the video here because it's probably getting long since I've been, this video has been going since yesterday, so. Oh, this is kind of cool. I had to turn here and walk along this wall, and I thought I was gonna have to go all the way that corner, and then it turns out there's just like these holes right here going right through. It's pretty damn cool. This is the Virginia Capitol Trail, I guess. And from here it should be about a 15-minute walk, I think, to the Great Shiplock Park that I'm trying to get to. So we're going to go check it out. I'm starting to see more and more people hanging out with like backpacks around here. I don't know if that means they're travelers or local home bums or just regular, non-homeless locals walking around with backpacks, like just going for a day hike or whatever. But yeah, I'm surprised. Maybe I should have come to this part of town earlier because I'm liking the vibes here, kind of, And I did do my research before I came to town. And Great Shiplock Park was one of the places I was planning on visiting and checking out to look for travelers. So I was thinking, it might be a place where a lot of travelers come to, stop by when they get into town. That's what I heard, at least. That was the intel I got. But yeah, I ended up just hanging out more in the downtown area and just kind of meeting people there. And I did meet enough people there, so I didn't really have a need to come out here. But now I've actually passed some people back by the track crossing that looked like they might have been travelers. They had some big backpacks and stuff, so this might be the spot. Sounds like there's actually a train going overhead as we speak, and it's quite loud. There's the CSX train going by up there. Some fucking asshole almost hit me at the crosswalk just now because I walked up to the crosswalk and tried to cross the street because there was no sidewalk over there. And as I start to cross, this guy comes fucking flying through the crosswalk, almost rams into me. I'm like, dude, I'm at a fucking crosswalk, asshole. You're supposed to yield to fucking pedestrians at a crosswalk. Fucking crazy ass drivers, man. You might notice this is not one of those fancy intermodal trains that we saw back in Danville, which are usually going pretty fast and pretty far. This is one of those, they call it a junk train. See, it's mostly a bunch of hopper cars, it looks like. And this one's probably going to be going pretty slowly, probably going to be siding out a lot, probably going to be going maybe only a short distance, So these are usually considered less desirable to ride than intermodal trains, but I mean, still better than a coal train. At least it won't make you turn fucking black. You and all your clothes and all your shit, everything just gets blackened with soot when you're riding a coal train. So, I mean, this is definitely a better option than that. But yeah, intermodals are the way to go. Here we have the, I think this is the Norfolk Southern track again, intersecting for a third time underneath this CSX track right here. So I guess these tracks run like roughly parallel for a little while. And yeah, a lot of train tracks around this area, which might be one of the things that brings travelers to this park. Not too sure. Alright, well, this is actually officially the park. I just looked at my map. I realized, yes, I am now in Great Shiplock Park. Oh, there it is. Great Shiplock Park, 2803 Dock Street. So, yeah, we're gonna walk around here and see if we see anybody cool hanging out. And just, I don't know, look at the park in general. And, yeah, just maybe try to figure out what it is that, that brings travelers here. Or if there really are travelers here, because, I mean, I heard that there might be, but we'll see. Yeah, so actually my question has been answered already. I just realized that like several blocks in that direction is the CSX Fulton Yard, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, that pretty sure that might explain why why you might see, you know, travelers and people with backpacks and such hanging out around here, because I imagine a lot of people trying to hop from Fulton Yard, or who just hopped into town at or around Fulton Yard, might come here to, you know, to hang out and wait. I don't know if this is someone's stash spot or what, but I'm not gonna touch it. I guess maybe you can stash your stuff around here and feel safe about no one touching it. I don't know. I'm definitely not used to that myself, but let's continue going this way off the beaten path and see if we can find anything interesting as we get closer and closer to the CSX train yard. This cute little staircase going down to a dock down here. Maybe that's why they call it the Shiplock Park and why it's called Dock Street or whatever, because you could lock your ships up at this dock or whatever. What the hell is that? Did someone make an encampment right there? It's not a bad spot, and it's locked off by a gate and everything. I don't know how they got around. Maybe they like held onto this thing and fucking shimmied around the pole. I don't know, but let's continue walking this way, I guess. I'm still walking down this trail here, well past the Great Shiplock Park now. I'm trying to go down towards the train yard and just give that a look around, but there's like a volleyball court here and everything. There's that big ass smokestack looking thing, which I don't know what that used to be, but looks pretty cool. Nice little area. Unfortunately, this part of the trail there's not really any shade, so I'm just having to walk in the sun for a long time. And I'm out of my drink. My Gatorade is gone, and I'm getting thirsty again. So once again, I wish there were more waterfalls on this trail, or water fountains rather, but so be it. Okay, I think I'm actually gonna get off the trail here for now and go up here, because I think if I cut left up here, it'll go straight towards the tracks at the edge of the Fulton Yard. And hopefully I'll pass a store on the way or somewhere where I can get water, preferably free water, but if I have to pay for another drink, I will. There's a cool little monument right here at the middle of this roundabout. Cool water tower right there too. Alright, I stopped in the store and I got another Gatorade, this time a bigger one, so hopefully it lasts me for the rest of my walk here. Alright, so the tracks are right up here, past this little like wall area up this hill. You can kind of see, you can see them from here, in fact, right there. But obviously this right here, there's no like woods for anyone to make any kind of jungles. So I'm wondering if there is a jungle around here, or like a hop out, would it be in that direction or that direction? I mean, that direction's further from the center of town, so maybe that would be a better bet, but I'm gonna walk this way real quick, just for a bit, and see if I see anything interesting. Huh. Richmond city limit. Does that mean technically I'm outside of Richmond right now, and now I'm walking back in? I didn't know it ended that early. Okay, we're on the side, a different side of the rail yard now, and this looks a little bit more dense in terms of foliage, so maybe people could be hiding in this sort of area. Not really sure, but I'm just gonna keep walking until I perhaps see something. I'm finding it hard to find an actual good spot to like watch the train yard activity from, because all this tall grass kind of obscures it from all sides. And I don't know, maybe that's part of the strategy. Maybe that's part of their modern security strategy. The grass around the yard super high and unkempt, so that, you know, to deter train hoppers from watching the movements of the trains too closely. I don't know. I actually realized I walked way too far, and the train yard is like way over there, and I could have actually probably turned back there. Although I think maybe I couldn't have, because I think the road back there that I could have turned on that I see on my map was like a private road. Now that I think about it, it said no trespassing. So this probably is the closest I can get legally. But we're gonna turn the corner up here, and maybe up there we'll be able to get an even better view. We'll see. I guess this is the actual official entrance to the yard. I was thinking I'd be able to turn right and get closer, but it says no trespassing, so this is the farthest I can really go right now. Obviously I'm no stranger to trespassing on railroad property, but I'm not going to take the risk of trespassing here in the middle of a busy train yard in broad daylight. especially when I don't have a reason to, because it's not like I'm trying to catch a train or anything. So I'll just look, you know. No one can get me in trouble for standing here, right? What we got over there? This looks like a whole bunch of nothing. Alright, let's go this way and see if there's anything interesting over here. Oh, this is interesting. Shipping container's cracked, and then inside, it's a locked door. Like there's a whole little shed in there or something. What the hell? Weird. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot back there, so I'm gonna turn around here, get back on the road. I'm actually gonna turn around and start going back this way to the other side of the track, I think, because I looked at the map and like, if I go this way and down that way, I'm not getting any closer to the tracks really. The only way to get closer would be to go that way, and you know, ideally go down that road at the end of the road right there, make a left, but again, that's not a public road, so gotta go around. I'm resting on this bench right here, right next to this little place that we passed before. And yeah, I don't know, I was thinking of going down here and turning left and trying to walk along the tracks on the other side, but I looked on the map and I'm pretty sure that like wall and hill type situation is just going to keep going and going, and there's probably not going to be very good access or views from that side either, even if I walk quite far down. So I think I'm going to cut my losses here and probably take a bus back to the center of town because my legs are getting pretty tired and I want to kind of wrap things up here. I might go out for one little short recording session later to film a couple things in Shockoe Bottom, just because that was where I stayed the first night, and that's the only place that I've been to that I haven't really you know, filmed yet. So I might go there briefly to end the video off, but yeah, until then I'm probably just gonna hang out and relax. So I'm gonna start heading back on the bus in a few minutes here. Honestly, you know, I wasn't expecting much when I came here. I knew it was, you know, kind of a fraught plan to just blindly come to the train yard and decide, oh, I'm gonna walk around the train yard and see if I can, you know, find anything, find any fucking hobo jungles or whatever. And honestly, I think Acca Yard is the bigger one, you know, the more popular one around here that people actually are hopping out of more often. So I don't even know if there would be any jungles around here, and if there are, they'd probably be a little further away from the actual yard itself, because yeah, it doesn't really look like there are many good hiding spots immediately around here. So I'm going to you know, just head back. It was cool to come check out the train yard. I'll say I always like just hanging out around train yards and taking in the vibes and watching the trains and stuff. I mean, we didn't see any trains going through the yard this time or anything, but we did see a train going on the tracks right above us before, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, I'm gonna be heading back in a minute. Well, a guy just came from there and passed by me and just casually walked right in there. So I'm not sure if he's a traveler or if he's a worker here or what. It was kind of hard to tell just by looking at him. He didn't have like a big backpack or anything, but he did have, you know, a bag that he was carrying. So it's possible that he's got a bigger bag stashed somewhere around here, or that he just you know, travels very light. I don't know. But yeah, he could have just been a worker, but he wasn't like dressed in any uniform or anything, so it's kind of weird. But thankfully there should be a bus stop right up here for the bus rapid transit. And so that means I don't have to walk very far to get to the bus stop. I was worried that I have to walk like 20-30 minutes just to get to the nearest bus stop, which was the situation from the Pump House Park yesterday. But thankfully it looks like man, I feel safer just crossing over there because there's an actual crosswalk, so I'm just gonna do that first. But yeah, so there's a bus stop right up here, actually right there, Rocket's Landing. We can see it from here, so that's pretty convenient. One cool thing about the BRT system here is the bus pulls right up to the platform. They have these raised platforms, so the bottom of the bus is actually level with the platform, and there's like barely any space between, so you know, if you got a wheelchair or whatever, it's very easy to get on the bus. That's pretty cool. Alright, I just got off the bus a few minutes ago. And actually, I was going to go back to the spot I'm staying at with my friend, but I'm actually going to walk to a place to get something to eat first, because I'm kind of worked up an appetite walking around. And I went to this spot yesterday, the 821 Cafe. It's like a popular spot around here for vegans, I guess. They got a lot of good vegan options. I went there yesterday and got their vegan chili, and I was obsessed with it, so I need to go back and grab another bowl of vegan chili real quick. It's only like $5. And I also tried the vegan breakfast sandwich, but being from New York, yeah, no, it wasn't. I mean, everything inside the breakfast sandwich is fine, but the bread is what makes the New York sandwiches. You know, those classic Kaiser rolls and poppy seed rolls. You know, here they have like it was like you can get a vegan biscuit or an English muffin. I was like, I'll try the biscuit, and it was like so dry. It felt like trying to eat sand. So I had to. It's funny because my friend Steven the other night was telling me, oh yeah, I had the breakfast sandwiches here, and compared to New York, they're just, you know, it's not the same. They're all bread. And then I was eating this sandwich at the 18-1 Cafe. I'm like, oh my god, it's all bread. I was having flashbacks of him telling me that it was true. So I had to rip like half the bread off the sandwich to actually be able to taste the stuff that was inside it. And then it was kind of decent. But yeah, I mean, it's nothing like Plantega, the Plantega stuff in New York City. In New York City, you got like a bunch of bodegas that serve these Plantega products that are basically just like veganized versions of popular, you know, New York street foods and deli foods and stuff, bodega foods, as the name suggests. So you can get like Philly cheesesteaks and chopped cheese and, you know, egg sandwiches and all that kind of good stuff, but vegan versions of all that. So that's pretty awesome. Oh, but anyway, yeah, I just saw a couple girls on the bus that, you know, had backpacks and stuff, tattoos, you know, they look kind of like travelers, or at least, you know, like they were on the streets in one way or another. So after I got off the bus, one of them got off at the same stop, and I was talking to her. Her name was Jessica, and she was pretty cool. She said she's not a traveler, she's a local, she's lived here for a couple of years, but she said that, you know, she gave me her number, and she said she wants to show me some kind of spot later before I leave town. I told her I've been really busy the last few days, and I kind of want to turn in early tonight, and I got to make preparations to leave tomorrow and stuff. So I don't know how, you know, late I'll be able to hang out tonight or whatever, or how long, but, you know, I'll try to go and meet up with her if she hits me up at a reasonable hour, and if I've got some time. I think I probably should, you know, as long as I get a chance to rest a little bit first, because I have been walking a lot, so a rest would be nice. Anyway, I should be at the cafe in like 5-10 minutes. What the hell is cheese ice? This is the spot right here. Well, damn, it looks like the door is locked. It says their hours are until 9 p.m. every day, so I don't know why they're mysteriously closed. That kind of sucks. Maybe business was slow, so they closed early today. I don't know. But I guess I'll have to figure something else out. That's sad. I was really looking forward to that vegan chili. Oh well. Alright, I bought a third drink of the day. I just spent like $10 on drinks today. It was really fucking stupid, but, you know, I was ready to have some vegan chili, and now I'm sad, so I need to cure my sadness with some sugary drinks, specifically Minute Maid fruit punch in this case. I guess I'm just going to skip the food and go back to my friend's place and maybe eat some peanut butter and tortillas and granola bars there or something. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll probably stop filming for now, and I'll film a little bit later. Maybe when I go out, if I go out and meet up with Jessica and she shows me something cool, maybe I'll take some, I'll film some stuff when I'm hanging out with her. But whether that happens or not, I will probably try to go to Shockoe Bottom later, just briefly, and, you know, so you guys can see the vibes. And then I'll be done. And the next video will be the one where I start hitching to DC. Okay, well, it is later now. It's almost 11 o'clock at night, maybe a little past. And that girl Jessica did end up hitting me up about an hour ago, but I was like, I want to come hang out, but it's a little late, and I still want to go film in Shockoe Bottom real quick. And that's actually what I'm doing right now to end off this video. I'm gonna take a bus there. It's gonna take me like half an hour to get there for like 2 minutes of of footage, and then I'm gonna take, you know, a 30-minute journey back to where I'm at, and then hopefully edit this YouTube video, upload it, get it ready to publish tomorrow, and then go to sleep as early as possible so I can hitch to DC early tomorrow morning. I made a post on Reddit a few minutes ago, like less than an hour ago, about my experiences in Richmond, saying that I'm going to DC next. And this guy named Bill hit me up and said that he might have he'll probably be able to give me a place to crash, and he told me about like a show that's happening in DC, so I might end up going to another show tomorrow night if I can get there in time. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, for now, I'm putting in my sweat equity here. Taking this, going on this hour and a half long mission for 2 minutes of footage just to cap off this video. And I'm just going to go and, film Shockoe Bottom real quick. I'm going to show you a couple bars there that I think might be interesting, that I haven't been to myself, but that seem like they'd be a cool vibe if I were to go inside them, just based on the people I saw hanging out outside and what I've heard about them and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that. Not gonna probably go into any bars or really talk to anyone tonight, because again, I'm like kind of just trying to get this done and then go to sleep early. But yeah, I did want to just go film the atmosphere. It's also probably not gonna be as poppin' here as it was the first night I was here, which was a Saturday night, because it is a Wednesday night. But yeah, we're going to go there and check it out real quick. So, yeah. Alright, well, I just got off the bus here in Shockoe Bottom. This is it. I mean, as you can see, it's pretty, brightly lit and everything. It is like kind of the premier nightlife district of the city. So I find it kind of weird that every local that I've talked to has been like, oh, don't go to Shockoe Bottom. I wouldn't even walk around there, during the day. Well, maybe not during the day, but like in the early night, before the bars closed. They say that they wouldn't even walk around here, which just seems crazy to me, because there's so many people, just so many like young people, college students, whatever. They got everything down here. They got punk bars, they got sports bars, Irish pubs, whatever, probably. And yeah, so I'm just gonna show off a couple bars here that might be of interest to some of you, that seem like they'd be of interest to me, and then I'm gonna head out. Might go to Guar Bar briefly, because Steven actually just texted me and was like, oh, I might go to Guar Bar. I'm done filming this thing. And I was like, well, I'm filming right now too, and I might go there. This is Wonderland right here. This is one of the bars that looks pretty cool. I haven't, like I said, I haven't been inside, but I mean, if you look at just the decor in there and the sign and everything, it looks cool. The people I've seen hanging outside look pretty cool. This is my buddy Stick right here. Looks like he's kind of sleeping, but he says that he's never really sleeping. He always appears to be sleeping, so who knows. But yeah, he was cool. He's the one who actually showed me where I could sleep my first night here, and I slept with him at his little sleeping spot. So I appreciated him helping me out in that way. But yeah, I'm going to continue walking down this way, and we're going to see a lot of activity, maybe. Well, probably not. I mean, it doesn't look as active as it did on Saturday night once again, which is pretty much to be expected. But it's a little active. There's some people out here and shit. Yeah, I mean, on Saturday night there were like lines and lines, just fucking throngs of people outside these bars. But I guess it's not like that every night. Not every city can be like New York, where every single day is just a fucking party 24/7. Looking forward to getting back there, but don't want to get too ahead of myself. I still got plenty of other cities to enjoy and check out before I get there. I have already seen plenty of New York, whereas some of these other cities I'm going to be visiting soon for the very first time. So yeah, I don't want to get too hasty now. But yeah, all the nightlife here is basically concentrated along these two streets. This is 18th Street, and then the other street I was on, where Wonderland was, that was Main Street. But 18th Street here, I guess they're not doing it tonight, but at least on Saturday night when I was here, the whole street was blocked off by police because there was so much pedestrian traffic. So the whole street just becomes like a pedestrian street on certain nights, maybe just on Friday and Saturday nights or something, I don't know. But yeah, the cops were just blocking everything off, and it reminded me of Nashville, because Nashville's the only other place where I've really seen cops do that before. This is the other place right here that I was talking about, that I saw that seemed kind of interesting. So you can hear there's music coming out of there right now. There's some people hanging outside. Again, this is one of those places where the first night I came here, there was like at least 20 people outside. Now there's like 2, 3, so it's definitely you can feel that it's a little sleepier than Saturday night, but still, I mean, the people hanging outside look cool. At least lots of like I guess this is the place for like the goth and alternative crowd, sort of. I've heard it's very LGBTQ plus friendly, so that sounds like your vibe. Maybe check this place out. But that being said, I am going to head out of here now. That's pretty much all I wanted to see in Shockoe Bottom. I just wanted to come here for like 5 minutes and just comment on those couple things. And now I'm going to, I guess I'll go to Guar Bar and see if Steven's there. I think Justin says he's going to be working tonight. And, I'll go say hi. I probably won't be able to hang out until 2 or anything like I have been, because I got a train at 7:30 tomorrow. I was going to hitchhike to DC, but I actually, I don't remember if I've already mentioned this. I might have mentioned this like 20 minutes ago, but already forgot because I'm tired. But yeah, basically, I met this guy in DC, and he said like, hey, I got a place to stay, and there's a show that's happening tomorrow night. We're probably gonna go to the show together, and he bought me an Amtrak ticket straight from Richmond to DC. So it turns out I'm not even going to need to hitchhike tomorrow, which is disappointing in a way, because I kind of was looking forward to hitchhiking. I like it, but at the same time, with how it went the other day, it's it's definitely be a lot less of a headache. Just take the Amtrak train, and especially since the show is happening tomorrow night at 8:30 or whatever, and who knows if I would make it in there in time. If I would make it there in time, I should say, just by hitchhiking. I think I'm just I decided I'll take the Amtrak train this time, because then I'll get to the fun stuff in DC more quickly. And I wasn't expecting DC to be as fun as it probably is going to be now, because I was thinking I would get there knowing no one and just wander around, look at some fucking monuments and shit, and then just leave after maybe, hopefully scoring a couch for the night, but more likely just trying to sleep outside somewhere or just staying up all night. But now I think it's going to be a whole lot more fun, so looking forward to that. Alright, here I am in Jackson Ward, and I'm heading to the Guar Bar to end off the night. It's right down here. Everybody tells me that it's a little sleepy here tonight at the Guar Bar, but that's okay, because I'm just trying to come say hi real quick anyway. I'm not gonna hang out for long or anything, like I said. So let's go check it out. Oh, sorry, it's not the Guar Bar, it's just Guar Bar. Gotta get that right. Here we are. Alright, had a good time at Guar Bar. Saw my buddies for one last time before, head out of town. And yeah, I am going to head back to my place where I'm staying now. So this will be, I think it'll be time to end the video here finally. I do appreciate you guys joining me on this little adventure in Richmond. I'm excited to, get to the next section of this trip, and head to DC and show you guys some stuff there, I guess, and discover some stuff there for myself, really, because I haven't really ever visited DC as an adult, only as a child. So yeah, stay tuned for that. As always, my Discord and my Patreon and Coffee will be linked in the description. So if you want to join my Discord server or support me monetarily, you can do that at those places. And don't forget to like if you liked the video, comment if you have anything to say about it, and subscribe and click the notification bell if you want to keep seeing my videos. And yeah. Oh, and I wanted to give a shout out to some of the people that I met here in the city. Shout out to Guar Bar, first of all, just great place, great people. But shout out to Justin in particular, the bouncer at Guar Bar, great guy. Like, he just keeps, I've seen him go out of his way to help so many people over the last few days. He's exactly like everything I love about traveling and the punk scene and everything. So, stand up guy, can't say enough good things about him. Steven, shout out to Steven, Rocky, Taylor, Stick, and man, am I forgetting anyone? Oh, shout out to Christian, if you're watching, and Brian. I think, no, sorry. I don't know why I said Brian. I think his name was David. The dude that was rambling about how much he loved MASH. You know, he might have inspired me to finally go watch MASH at some point. So, shout out to him too. What a character. All right, guys. Enjoy this bonus clip of me being outside in the rain in Carytown. See ya. Dude, fuck me, man. I'm the only person out here. I'm the only person retarded enough to be out here in this shit right now. The streets are already flooding. The sidewalk is starting to flood. Bro, I don't have that much more space. I'm gonna get flooded out over here. What the hell is going on? This just started like half an hour ago. What is happening, bro?